necessary to take a break.
Welcome back to Midnight Mayhem. I'm your host today, Bobby, and I love horror.
I'm Leo and I love movies.
And I'm Raymond, the other guy.
And we have to go quick because the battery's going to die and everything's messing up today.
Anything ready? Even though we told them.
We're watching. We watched Wreck. It's good movie.
Wreck 2.
Yes, Wreck 2. My
Wreck
bad. Recommend. Don't recommend. Speak.
Definitely recommend. I recommend it.
Watch them back to back. I liked it.
Back to back is a great series.
We were comparing it to Hellraiser, going from Hellraiser 1 to 2, or going from Insidious 1 and 2. This is pretty up there.
It's like the perfect transition from 1 to 2, and it just kind of like connects seamlessly.
Let me also repeat the same thing 3 times.
Thank you.
That and what, Aliens and Aliens? That's what you compared this to.
Right.
So if you liked the movie Wrecked and you watched our video on it, or if you didn't, if you just watched the movie Wrecked,
go watch it and then watch the movie, watch this movie. What are we talking about?
I can't recommend it anywhere to stream because I don't know if it's streaming on anything. But
by the time this releases, it's probably going to be streaming somewhere.
Hopefully it is. But yeah, highly recommend. For going forward, story takes place. Quick synopsis: story takes place immediately after the hotel.
Immediately after.
Yeah. So then what we have, like a SWAT team going in with a specialist on the situation entering, and then it just all hell breaks loose from there. There's really no story outside of that. It's just getting from point A to point B. Since we already know the big monster from the previous film, it's just balls to the walls. Go for it. So going on forward, it's all going to be spoilers. So time to tap out if you want to watch the movie. So
let's get our ratings.
3, 2, 1. Spoilers. Go, cousin. Opinion of the movie.
What you like about it? Spoilers, or are we doing ratings?
Spoilers.
Let's do spoilers.
What'd
you like about the movie?
I liked the what is it called? Continuity.
Right. Okay.
Really liked the continuity. What I disliked, I disliked a lot of the special effects that they used. So they made the infected more notably infected. They had sharper teeth,
or more notably possessed.
Yeah, sure. However you want to say it.
Because in the first movie, it was implied that they were possessed.
Yeah, and this one they're like confirming,
straight up,
confirming like
it's demons, it's demon blood. I'm actually not even a specialist. I'm a priest. And then I really didn't like the whole last portion with the ghost dimension thing.
Right, how it's like there's certain things you can see with the light and without the light.
Yeah, felt very like Resident Evil.
It felt very.
Like you go back to the same room at the beginning, and they're like, "Here's the secret."
Here's the thing: they try to bring science into this. That was one of my biggest annoyances because it's like, we gotta.
Don't believe in science.
We gotta. No.
Okay.
JC all the way.
Yeah, JC.
No, so they're demons, not demons, but like they're possessed, right? So there's a higher power working with this, but at the same time, like we have to make a cure for the possession. Yeah. It's like, there's already a cure,
Like, did you
Jesus, that's the cure, man.
Did you guys take your demon vaccines? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I forgot what the study of religion is. It's like, it doesn't matter. So, what is your dislikes?
Well, it's like they want to create a vaccine for the possessed that are possessed by demons.
So they need the specific blood of the first infected.
Right.
Which is why they're there.
But then at the same time, when this whole thing happens with like the other world, right? When it's like there's no science in that. Like it's completely paranormal.
Yeah.
And you cannot like if shit like that happens in this movie, then this whole vaccine thing just doesn't make any sense, That's my biggest issue. Hot take.
It makes me feel like the only way to stop the infection is to kill all the infected.
Yeah, and say a prayer or two, and that's it. Game over. What do you think?
I liked everything. I thought it was fun to make it more like religion-based.
Do you think they needed to have a vaccine?
No, I don't think it's a horror movie, so they could take whatever concept they want and run with it. So it's like
I'm saying within the reality of the movie.
Yeah,
the think a vaccine would work?
They try to make it logical.
I think they could figure something out with the blood, but they can't make a vaccine. No, that's just not how that would work. I think the first
movie was very well made. I think they took a turn with the demonic possession.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could have been just a zombie movie and it would have been fine.
Oh, it could have just been a possession movie.
There's
it
one
just been fine.
In this movie that I think is the only scene that benefits from having it be a religious thing is when the demon pretends to be the little girl.
in the bathroom.
That one's good. Yeah, it pretends to be
that's the only thing I can think of that's like, oh, that's why they have to be demons.
Right.
For that one scene.
I don't think all the religious stuff hurts the movie at all, though. That's my thing.
It doesn't.
But it's the fact that
they can't decide where they want to lean more towards, you know? Because it's like, yeah, careful, it's in the blood, but at the same time, it's like, is it in the blood or is it in their faith? Like, which one is it? You know, like.
Nah, I mean, it's because like I don't think there would. Faith within the people seem to have nothing to do with it. It's obviously something that's been manifested in a character, like the little girl that was in the part of the Vatican, the one that got originally possessed, and all of this starts off. It's like she had been possessed for so long that this is transformed into something else, and then that's what they're dealing with now. Now they're trying to implement science into a situation where they've already used religion.
Fair enough, but
you know what I mean? Like,
so are you saying this could technically be a disease that grew in her body due to her being possessed for so long?
Yeah. That's also me filling in the blanks, but this is also just the horror genre in general. Yeah. Like, the more ambiguous you make something...
Why does that make sense?
I know. That's why I said I don't mind it. So, like,
because
when
we think about it, we try and make an explanation in our heads. They don't do that in
whether
the movie.
Whether it be scientific, like the zombie, like just make them be zombies, or whether it be like, religious and just make them be possessed, you know? Like, lean one or the other.
But a unique mixture of both.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense, but I mean, if you give us time to, like, brainstorm something, like, we'll think of something that's like, oh, that's probably what happened.
The best example I can give of this, and it's just because it's the most recent example that I had a discussion about, was like Hazbin Hotel. Like, people were saying that was not horror related because it has to do with hell. But I'm like, it does, because you're taking a concept that would normally just be a comedy and making it something else. So they took something that would have just been a generic zombie movie, and they implemented probably their own personal fears, which is like religion and God and demons, and now make it something like, all right, how do we make the anti-lord,
we weren't
the
even
evil of
movie,
everything,
man.
Turn it into that.
You wanted to.
After I saw the beginning, I was like, yeah, we got to do this movie.
After we watched Rec 1, we were like, I gotta watch Rec 2.
I know, but we weren't going to record it, remember?
We started watching Rec 2 just for fun.
Yeah.
And we were like, man, this is good.
This is good. We got to make an episode.
Second half, and we're like,
we had to watch
second half like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, because we got busy. But I don't know. I liked it overall.
Decent gore shots.
Decent gore shots,
yeah,
awesome
great gore
action
shots.
sequences.
Great acting, like always.
If you hate kids, there's an interesting scene with the shotgun.
Move on. Gotta keep going. I got like 12 minutes.
Ratings. Give me a rating, Raymond. What do you rate it?
7.5 out of 10.
Low, but I'd give it like an 8.
I give it a solid 8. Solid sequel, solid 8.
All right, 8 sounds good.
What did you
Started
rate?
off super strong.
Good B.
Strong
B.
end.
Yeah.
Everything good starts with B. It's just B.
Bobby.
Bob.
But Raymond.
But Raymond.
Where do you think? Did you like the characters? That's it. Just like, do you think the characters were better than the first one? Because the first one had very diverse characters.
I didn't like any of the characters.
Hopefully you watched it, but the lady at the end of the movie, at the end of the first movie, Wreck, survived to live on to the second movie. I thought that was so stupid until they
explained it, which is bizarre as hell.
I liked it.
I mean, I saw it coming too, but at the same time, it's like they don't explain it both. Well, fine. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
they showed her like this slug thing going into her mouth.
She got deep tongue from the demon.
She got possessed, and like she kind of just lifts up the evacuation orders, and she gets to go free, possessed outside into the world. But
like, okay, so would you say this movie over-explained its monsters, or do you think it under-explained them?
It under-explained them a bit, I think.
Because you could say that, okay, we understand how they work for the most part. The saliva, it came from
blood and all that.
We got a lot of backstory on these things, on where they came from and what they do. But then when you implement the science stuff, then it becomes kind of skewed a bit because you're like, okay, what do I listen to? I do agree with Raymond's idea that they should just basically burn down the building, just been done with it.
I mean, that is what they do. That's what they do, yeah.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying originally, like, they try to get the antidote and all that stuff. Like, what's the point of getting the antidote if it was like
so far spread,
and you're just gonna burn it out anyways?
Yeah.
Unless
why risk it? Why, like, if you know the infection is in the building, you know the original source for the infection is in the building, nuke it. Like, right? Just light everything on fire, holy fire, whatever you need to use, right?
Evacuate a block or two.
Why send a SWAT team and a priest in? If you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's why we have discussions.
Yeah. It's a great movie, but it does have it had for every bad thing about the movie, there was like a really good thing that kind of overshadows it. You know, like
2 to 1.
like one of my favorite scenes is when they find the kids in the attic. Like that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like really that was like the highlight of the movie for me. That was like this.
First,
I
like,
love.
15 minutes.
Yeah, that's one. It has a great intro. It has an amazing intro. So it obviously keeps you hooked. You know.
I mean, I didn't like any of the characters. The main priest was just like, I need to do my mission.
But I'm not gonna tell anybody.
And then it was like, oh, you can't do your mission anymore. He's like, well, we're still not leaving. I need to do my mission.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what do you like? What's your plan?
And every single soldier from the SWAT team, like they're trained professionals, but they react like
it's their first day. On
like
the
it's their
job.
first day.
My only issue with the movie was when they kill the original form of the demon, or the girl that was being possessed in like the shadow realm, basically what it was.
Right.
Was that he was like, I can't complete the mission now because you killed her, and I'm like,
Just take the
Just
blood
take the
from
blood
the
off
body.
the
Yeah,
ground.
because the whole point is like I need her
I need
blood.
her blood.
When she shot her brains out, like you saw
There's
that
plenty of
blood come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my only
Scoop
issue.
it off the wall, and then he was like, "Oh, like I." And then he was when she was like, "Oh, you need to order the evacuation." He's like, "No, I have to finish the mission." It's like you already said you can't do that. So what are you yelling about saying you have to finish?
And
the
on
mission?
top of that, remember that
Find
this
alternative.
demon is like stuck in the other world. So it's like, how can he get her blood?
you turn the lights off and you go for the
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he gets a tube of blood, turns the light. I was like, no, wait.
Yeah, turn
this is
on.
coming.
like the guy in the bathtub. He's like,
Exactly.
No.
Oh yeah, that was
Exactly.
good. That was a
Yeah.
cool shot. So then here's my question then, since we're going to be closing this up pretty
Sure.
soon. Would you have preferred the series to have ended with just the one movie, and we didn't get the sequel?
I think so.
I think as perfect as the sequel was, I think it could have been fine just ending on the first movie and having it be ambiguous. That
They both can end just
the girl
fine
died.
where they're at. Like doesn't need to be a 3 and a 4, but
I just feel like this
Well,
movie took a dip.
Yeah, well, no, because the first one ended almost like on a solid ending. It's like, okay, she gets caught, right? And it's like this thing is never explained, but it doesn't really need to be.
yeah.
And this one, I love how they try to explain the best they could, but they also added more stuff to it. So they asked more questions than they gave out answers. And with the ending, it just kind of like ended like, it's like that shitty movie. Remember I told you, I was like, oh, the girl's possessed, and she
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
into the world, and she's
You
living her
can watch that
life.
episode. Just now, there's a whole other side tangent we're not going to get into, but yeah. But cousin, then do you think this movie would have benefited from either not existing, or do you think it would have been better that they explained more? Because I feel like they couldn't add any more.
I'm a bit
to
advocate of less is more.
So then you think they should have said less?
Over explanations on everything. Like I said, like if
Yeah, I
they
would've-
allude
yeah.
to religious like undertones, that's fine. But they're just legit like, yeah, like we're gonna trap this one inside with the cross. This one we're gonna interrogate with the cross. These
This
are all-
one,
this
we're
is-
going
But
to
what
say
you-
a prayer, and
but what
like
you're-
it would tell us where they are. It's like,
What you're describing is just the first movie.
the first movie
the first movie is just like,
would have been
hey,
perfect. This movie
So you don't think the
has
second-
a lot of
But-
high points.
but
It's a
what-
perfect sequel to the first movie.
yeah.
But the first movie is great standalone.
but what Raymond's saying is like, keep the way they look, just don't like over explain it. Just kind of like
Yeah.
watch them evolve over time, and then just get your own interpretation from it.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that's what the fangs and like the teeth sharpening was. It was that happening over time.
Yeah, but it was also like spoon fed. Like this is religious.
Yeah,
this
like-
is a demonic possession.
Well, yeah,
Everything
because
is
the
possessed.
other movie ended with it being like it is
Yeah.
religious, this is demonic, and then we got a priest like literally forting them off. Yeah, he was annoying as a character,
Yeah.
but he's also like he's there for a reason.
You know, and I
So that's
and
why I'm trying to make sure because I'm trying to be a devil's advocate here because I do agree with a lot of your points, but I'm like yeah, the movie was still
As you
enjoyable. So
And I understand like that, you know, this is demonic possession, but like now I know that we might not even get into it, but I'm kind of curious how the next 3 movies play out because I've seen the third one. I don't really remember that much from it,
I want to
and-
watch them all.
and I never seen the fourth one. So
Aren't
I
you
want to see,
invested?
I want to see how far they can lean into this whole
You watch the third
demonic.
one, and then we'll join you for the fourth one because we've seen the third one. We don't remember a lot of it.
But we know we didn't like it as much.
Maybe we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's going to conclude the episode. Unless you guys want to chime off anything, we don't have any fun facts. This was just kind of a spur of the moment episode. We weren't really
Yeah.
planning on doing it, but here it is.
As of
Welcome.
this point, if you've seen this, we've already finished with our creature feature, right?
By the time we upload this, yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe I might
Alright.
just sprinkle it in. Who knows?
probably.
So much for continuity. Okay, cool.
No, I might just go back to back. Who knows?
Like there's like so much continuity. We just cut to this same table, but someone else is playing Bobby. Like, that's everything.
Got
Yeah,
recast it.
Yeah,
I do want to. I don't know. I liked the second movie a lot. I like want to rewatch it a couple times because I liked
feel
it.
free to rewatch it.
I-
But
I feel like-
No, it's great.
I really liked
rewatch
it.
it with the eyes of our opinion,
Mhm.
because it's like if you
I-
watch a horror movie for just it being horror, it's like, oh, I don't have to overthink about these things. But then if you watch it from a
The
critic's
world-
perspective,
Yeah.
where
And
you're
it-
like, oh, like they're trying to make sense of two separate sides of a coin, and they're trying to say it landed on heads.
It's kind of like I think where I overthought once was When Evil Lurks or Where Evil Lurks.
Oh yeah.
That one was like, okay, this is the world that's been established. This one, same thing. Because I watched the first movie, it's like, oh, okay, this is where the world's being established. Even if you just jumped into this movie from frame one, like you didn't even watch this first one, I still think it would be an enjoyable movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Maybe because
it'd
it's
be
just
very
so
confusing.
I think it's so crazy that that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
The chaotic horror, which is what I like about it.
The mayhem.
Yes. Oh yeah. No,
Can't do that yet.
yeah, I can't say that yet. All right then. Thanks for joining us. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, dislike it. You're entitled to your opinion. I hope you liked the movie though. If you didn't, tell
And
us
if you
your
guys
opinion.
want us to do more short form videos like this, let us know in the comments. If not, we're just gonna keep talking for hours on end.
Yeah, probably do this a couple more times for fun. All right, Leo. Any final closing thoughts? Follow us on
Horror podcast number 2.
Horror
get
number 2, guys.
and then
Horror podcast 2.
Horror
Instagram
podcast
and
2.
whatnot.
Right. Horror
I
podcast 2.
can't put links. That's why you guys will see screenshots. So
We haven't
All
made a Twitter. I mean, we haven't made a TikTok, but we made a clapper. It's a
what?
it's a clapper, man.
Is that a thing?
It's TikTok, but really
More
far.
adult.
It's far right movement TikTok.
Oh,
We're getting a lot of traction on there, so
It's gonna be like, oh, like I love this movie. It was a good movie. You scroll down, it's like, here's why the election was stolen. It's one of those, yeah.
Just end it there before you say something we regret.
Never.
that's around there, right there.
Bye.
Man. Bye. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.